Today, we are going to be looking at the best goalkeepers in FC24. Goalkeepers are always one of the most difficult positions to kind of finalise and find your favourite card in, and I will say right now, sometimes this really can be opinion-based. You can sometimes find goalkeepers that will be amazing for you, and I'll have them on a list of like the worst keepers in the game, and some of the players I put on my favourite keepers might be your least favourite keepers. Goalkeepers really are so hit and miss. But without further ado, I'm going to go into my top 10 goalkeepers in the game. First of all, though, I am going to show you some keepers that I personally would absolutely avoid. We are going to be starting off with Keylor Navas. I have played against this guy a couple of times, and he was truly terrible. He just didn't save a thing, and I really found it quite easy to score against him. For those who don't know, I'm doing a series using a bronze and silver QPR team, and I scored plenty of goals past him, so I would avoid Keylor Navas personally. Donnarumma is quite a bit better. Up next is Dudek. I was actually lucky enough to pack Dudek, and boy was I disappointed when I used him in game, and I think he saved maybe one shot in about 5 matches. His reactions are just terrible. It says 90 reflexes, it was more like 9. Would go nowhere near Dudek. Ter Stegen is an absolute fraud, boys. I would say probably one of the keepers that are slightly worse than Dudek. Ter Stegen was truly terrible, unless I've just been lucky to come up against some really bad examples of Ter Stegen. He is so not worth the cost. I think he's like 200k or something stupid. I would go nowhere near Ter Stegen. Then we're going to look at Flecken, who honestly, I think a big part of the issue is a lot of players find it very easy to score against keepers coming out, and the 31 speed was just a huge problem. In regards to shot stopper, not the end of the world. There were definitely worse keepers, but his like coming out to try and narrow the angles, there's no point. He really can't do it because he is so slow. But in my opinion, probably the worst goalkeeper in the game is joint between Onana, who honestly plays like he did against Nottingham Forest every single game, and Aaron Ramsdale. I probably would say Ramsdale takes the top crown. They have done him incredibly dirty this year. He is truly terrible in game. Please, if you value anything in this game and your ability to play it, do not use Aaron Ramsdale in goal. He's genuinely terrible, which is a shame because I like Ramsdale, seems like a nice guy, and it's a shame that an 84 rated card is truly pants. But that is the bad keepers. Let's get into my personal top 10. There's probably going to be a few on here that will surprise you, but let me start off by saying this guy, crazy that he's on the list for me, but Sergio Herrera, one of the best keepers I've used in this game. He was actually in my starter team, and I packed him early on, and I needed a little bit of chemistry and stuff. He's really good, boys. He is really good. I highly recommend if you are super budget, or if you're just picking up the game on Friday and you're not looking to spend loads of coins. I'd be surprised if he's much more than 400 coins. He's really solid. He made a lot of saves for me. Really enjoyed using him, and he did a real good job for me in net. So Sergio Herrera is somebody I would recommend if you're super budget. In 9th place, I've gone with Sheridan. Now, I will tell you, the only female player on the list. She plays in the American League. And she was actually really good. She was super agile. She was saving a lot of shots that I was taking against her. The person I was playing against was using a full women MLS, or I should say the WSL. Apologies. Oh, that's the Prem. The NWSL, I think it is. Regardless, she was really good. She made plenty of saves, caused a lot of problems, and was quite difficult to beat. I've only played against her, I think, twice, but both times she's been very solid. So I have her in that sort of top list for me. And then in 8th place, I've got Ospina going to the Saudi League. There's 2 Saudi League keepers on this list, and Ospina is one of them. He's so good. I found him very difficult to score against as well, and that was actually using my normal gold team. That wasn't just using my bronze and silver team. He was very good. So I would highly recommend checking him out again if you're wanting to go down that Saudi route, which there's a couple of decent keepers, one of which is also Bunu, who's going to come in 7th place. I think I've already lost count. 7th place, solid keeper, real good card. And again, I highly recommend considering him. Obviously, a couple of cheeky links out. The Moroccan link working with a couple of different leagues if you wanted to hybrid things up a little bit. It's worth noting the speed also a little bit lower, but I didn't notice his speed with it being less than 40 as big a problem as I did on Flecken. With Flecken, you know, they were easily just, if you narrow the angle down too much, Trivelas are quite OP from a close range with the keeper, like close proximity. Flecken was conceding pretty much every single time anyone did that. Bunu, I've not found the same issue. So I would say that Bunu probably is a little bit more solid for you in that sense. Then we've got Mere, 83 rated and pretty decent. I think he's the only Italian keeper, but I do think I have another Italian league keeper on this list. But Mere, again, super solid. Gets some decent links with Napoli, having some really nice cards this year. And yeah, just real good shot stopper. Pace isn't terrible as well for a keeper coming out. Good positioning and very good reflexes. But just coming above him is Martinez. Martinez for me was on my list at the end of last year. His Team of the Year nominee card was right up there. But I really did enjoy him this year as well. Just his base gold card. Really liked his card last year, and this year I think he's just as good. Gets into my top 5, I believe he is. So fair play to Martinez. Nice and early doors. Good little Prem keeper. Coming in above him is Castile, 6'6". Giant, very good in this game. Super shot stopper. Quite a lot of OP this year is that sort of long shot, having shots from range. I find him to be a pretty good counter to that. I do think he's quite good at countering the OP long shot meta that's sort of running around at the moment. And again, not terrible links. Obviously, Bundesliga. Wolfsburg's got some nice cards in the men and the women's team. And Belgium, some nice Belgian players out there too. So, nice card. I like Castile's quite a bit. Above him is Mainan, the other Serie A keeper on this list. Obviously, French. Mainan was really good last year, and is very good again this year. I'm not surprised to see him on the list, just because of how overpowered he was last year. But for me personally, I think Mainan is one of the better keepers in the game. Obviously, a little bit of value to him because of his rating and because of his links. Again, French, real good links. Serie A, real good links. And AC Milan have got some good players too to get strong links to there as well. But Mainan for me in the top 3 just seemed to make sense. But just missing out on the number 1 spot is going to be Alex Ramiro. So many people I'm coming up against with Alex Ramiro. I didn't realize till I was on my stream the other day and people were like, oh, another person using Alex Ramiro. It turns out I played 4 Alex Ramiros in a row and all 4 were very good. It wasn't until I sort of sat back and watched the stream back to see some of the saves the Alex Ramiro was making. I thought, this guy's solid. I then decided to play some more rivals, and those 3 games of rivals off stream, all 3 of them use Alex Ramiro. So in one day, I played against 7 Alex Ramiros, and all 7 of them were solid. Real good card, and very much deserving the number 2 spot. But for me, the number 1 keeper in the game, and it's honestly by quite a country mile. Alex Ramiro is fantastic, but I have to be honest, Ederson is head and shoulders the best keeper in this game. He is the person that's saving my mental capacity in this game. He is by far the best goalie. I really do believe that Ederson makes a huge difference. Obviously, has some great links, being Premier League. Brazil helps you open up to a lot of different leagues too. And Man City, obviously, there's plenty of really good Man City cards out there. But I have used him only a handful of times now. I've played him in 15 games, and it's massively improved the gameplay for me. Being able to rely on your goalkeeper is huge, and Ederson will make you feel like you can rely on your goalkeeper. So I highly recommend checking Ederson out. But that there is my top 10 goalkeepers in the game. Really do recommend considering some of these guys if they fit into your team, or you can work a way to fit them in. Best absolute budget option has to be Sergio Herrera. He really, again, for 400 coins, he is unreal. Sadly, I got rid of mine and then when I got him untradeable, so sadly it only shows I've played 1 game with him. But I've played, I think, about 15, 16 games with him in net, and he was really solid. I do highly recommend him. One of the most underrated cards for their rating on this is going to be Ramiro. Obviously, one of the lower rated cards on the set here, but so good. And the number 1 spot for me is Ederson. Now, I am going to give a bit of a special shout out here to a card that I don't think many people will have used. And there's only really one reason I've used this card, and it's because he plays for QPR and it's the team I support. But Asmir Begovic is genuinely incredible. If you guys watch my Armstrong Army series, or even my QPR Karimad, because obviously he's in both of those as the QPR goalkeeper, he's genuinely very good. So if you're wanting to run like a fun team, or if you're planning on doing Silver Stars down the line, you will be able to throw him into that if Silver Stars is a thing. I'm kind of assuming it might be. So just a little special shout out there to Begovic, not just because I'm a QPR fan, but because he is genuinely very good. But that there, as I say, is the top 11 goalkeepers in the game, in my opinion. Let me know down below if there's anyone that you think is absolutely fantastic and is your number 1 goalkeeper in FC24. And of course, let me know if there's any keepers that either I've included or I've missed out in these stinker teams as well, in these stinker keepers, because for me, these are by far the worst goalies in the game. If there's anyone you think is absolutely diabolical, let me know in the comments as well. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this, please leave a like on the video. It supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit the sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to watch us on our live streams, it's Hursty Games over on Twitch. There's a link down below, along with my Twitter, my TikTok. Feel free to go check them out and show some love. I interact with people as much as I can. But that is it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. Take care.